This is the iPhone 12 and I've been using it for a while now, but I have finally come to the decision that I'm not going to be keeping this phone, and let me explain to you why. So when the rumor mills were starting up and we kind of confirmed that the iPhone lineup this year, we're going to have 4 models, the 12 mini, the 12, and the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. I was very interested in the 12 mini and the 12 Pro Max, kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, if you guys don't know anything about me, I really like pocketable small phones, but I really want good battery life out of my phone as well. I'm a pretty heavy user, and even the biggest of batteries kind of end up not lasting me the entire day sometimes. And I think that it's kind of a bad spot to be stuck in because I have to compromise on one. I can either compromise on battery life, or I can compromise on a comfortable size small device and buy a much bigger one. So for the past couple of years, that's kind of been my compromise. What I do is I buy the bigger devices because they have the bigger batteries, and I just kind of make things work from there on. And I've been used to it, but recently I switched to some smaller phones. I used the iPhone 10 for a little bit. I used the iPhone SE for a while in the middle, and more as I use these smaller phones, I have come to realize I really like them, and the battery life on them has kind of come up to a level where even though I need to keep charging them way more, I can live with it a lot more than I could back in the day. So my idea was that I'll get the 12 mini, the 12 Pro Max, and great content right there, and I can kind of work from there. But what happened was the kind of rumors were floating around at some point that the 12 and the 12 mini will come out together, and then the Pro line, the Pro and Pro Max, would come out a couple of weeks later because of production delays. So that made sense to me, and I was cool with it. I thought that would work out perfect. I'll get the 12 mini. First, I'll use it for a couple of weeks, make my videos on it, and then when the Pro Max comes out, I'll be all done with the 12 mini video, so I could move on and make videos on that. But unfortunately, just things didn't work out that way. Apple first launched the 12 and the 12 Pro, and behind 3 weeks later, the 12 mini and the 12 Pro Max are going to come out. So as a content creator, I kind of got stuck with the issue where I had to get one of the iPhones. Like, I just didn't want to wait for 3 weeks and not make any videos on iPhones. And I love Apple. I love iPhones. I wanted to get my hands on one as soon as possible. So what I decided was, all right, let's dump the plan for the 12 mini and just buy the 12. Get it over with. The size of the iPhone 11 is nice. I've used it for a while. It's great. Let's just buy it and get it over with. And that's what I did. I bought the 12 in blue. Initially I was really happy with it, and I just kind of kept using it, got over it. But as the days have gone by, I keep thinking the 12 mini would be so much more comfortable, and the 12 Pro Max would give me so much more battery life, and I'm just kind of stuck in that frenzy now. So I'm definitely going to be getting the 12 Pro Max. That's not a question. But the question then came into mind, what if I just got rid of this and got the 12 mini? And that's kind of where I've been stuck the last couple of days, and I finally made a decision where I think that this is kind of like a weird middle child. It doesn't have the greatest battery life, it doesn't have the biggest battery, but what it does have is a little bit more of a pocketable size. It's a lot more thinner, it's a lot less bigger than the iPhone 12 Pro Max will be, and that'll just be a little bit more comfortable to carry. But the reality is, since I can have the best of both worlds, I'm in a very unique and lucky position where I can buy both phones. It just makes sense for me to have the smallest one and the biggest one, where I can use the smaller one when I want something that's more convenient and more easy to carry, and I can use the bigger one when I want those really long endurance battery days. So it just made sense to me at that point to have those two instead of this, because this is that weird middle ground where I get pretty good battery life, but at the same time it's not as comfortable and convenient. And once the Pro Max gets here, I definitely won't be using this as more because there's no advantage to it, right? It's quite big on its own, and it doesn't give me as much battery life as the Pro Max. So that's what kind of finally sealed the deal for me, and I decided that this has to go back. Now, this is a great phone. I don't want anyone to think that just because my personal preference doesn't suit this phone that it's a bad phone. It's just I kind of end up landing on very opposite sides of the spectrum right now, and I just wish there was a small phone that would give me great battery life, but that doesn't exist right now, so I'm kind of stuck in limbo. But I think why I'm making this video is not only to share my thought process on how I kind of evolved about thinking about this phone, but also to give you guys kind of a heads up, think about it. When you're buying a phone, I think that's one thing that people don't think about a lot is comfort. Which phone is going to be the most comfortable to use in your hand, to hold in your hand? Like, forget all the features, forget the price, forget all of that for 1 second and just kind of pick a phone up, hold it for a couple of minutes, use it, and then kind of figure out what you like, what you don't like, what's comfortable, what's not from there on out. And that really, I think, using a comfortable phone, once you've done it, using something that's too big for you or too small for you starts to feel very annoying. And smaller phones are not bad at all. Like with the display size getting so much larger now, I think that smaller phones should make a huge comeback. And I think because of the 12 mini, they will. So I'm going to go all in on that train and just hope it survives and gets through and kind of gets bigger and bigger as time goes on. But that's kind of the story with this. It's a middle ground for me that I don't need because I can just choose the best of both worlds right there, because I can literally get two worlds instead of having to subside and kind of compromise on one. So that's kind of my thoughts. That's been my overview with the iPhone 12. Let me know what you guys think. And if you did buy an iPhone 12, let me know what you guys, what the process was behind that. Why you chose this one over the other iPhones in the lineup. Was it because of the size? Was it because of the price? Was it just something else completely? I'd love to know your process, your kind of thought that went into this purchase when you got it. Because, for me, it was clear, but I'm kind of trying to figure out what it would be for someone else. So that's it for this one, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on social media. I'll have all the handles right on the screen right here, and of course down in the description as well. And be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. A lot more iPhone content coming up, iPhones are in season, baby, and we're going to get a lot more content of that. So if you like iPhones, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.